Hello folks, today we're going to be working on the riding mower and we're going to be getting a new exhaust on it. So basically the old exhaust, the reason I'm doing this is because, well, first off, I cut a hole in the hood, but the exhaust gases come out and it's just, they end up not fully coming out of here, and it blows on the plastic and kind of melts it. You can see where it's bubbled the paint up and stuff. So it's not good for the hood. But the main issue is one of the bolts broke off. The other one has already started to ruin some of the threads, gull the threads up. And also you can just tell this muffler is pretty junk. So I actually had to use this on a job like this, and it worked okay, but now we'll be able to fix it. So I got some parts. An OEM exhaust, a Briggs & Stratton muffler that was exactly like the one that's on it, was like $118. So I was like, no way we're doing that. So instead, we're gonna build something custom. That was also not very cheap, but it was actually cheaper. We're gonna be straight piping this bad boy. No, I'm joking. The neighbors would hate me. Any clients I have would hate me. So we also got a muffler, an RLV muffler for this thing that'll fit on that pipe, supposedly. If I can open it without slicing a finger off. Nice, dude. Wow, that's not very big. I think the muffler and the go-kart's maybe bigger, I don't know. So basically it's the same style that I have on the go-kart. We got a big RLV sticker as well. And this is like a performance exhaust system. Hopefully it won't be too loud. These things are not very quiet mufflers, but that's okay. Because, it'll sound cool. And it'll probably give us a little bit more horsepower. But the thing is, this thing doesn't rev very high at all. It's governed to like 3,000 RPM. And so we might have to bypass the governor just a little bit. See what it'll do. So let's make sure, does this muffler even, did I get the right side? It's a little bit loose. This is supposed to be 2 1/4 outside diameter. Has a nice brushed finish on it, actually. It looks really good. And this thing is supposed to be 2 1/4 inner diameter, but there's a lot of free play. I think it's more like, this is more like 2 1/8 or something. But anyways, let's get off this old piece of junk. That thing's going. So you can see that it has this little extension on the exhaust system. This little short manifold thing. Gasket's still good. I put in a little stud here just to keep it aligned when that bolt broke, so it would at least hold it in place a little bit. I cleaned it up on the wire wheel, so that's why it's all shiny. You can see how messed up the threads were. That little stud I put in isn't even straight in there. Boy, that's tight. That's super tight in there. We're probably gonna have to do some trimming and stuff. This is not quite the right bolt pattern for that. We got this thing drilled out. That took so long. I don't know what this thing's made out of, but whatever it is some high quality stuff, because it takes a long time to wear down. I love this brushed finish on here. It looks so nice. I don't know if it's stainless or I think it said it was just mild steel, but there's not a blemish on it whatsoever. So I really don't know. Whatever it is, it's a shame we'll have to cut it up a little bit. I'll put a little oil on these threads of these bolts so they hopefully don't dull in there like the ones on the manifold did. Just gonna get paint on. Stupid hood anyways, huh? Thankfully, I happen to have this little Allen wrench looking thing, but it has this T400 tip on it, which is the right size for these things. Otherwise, I don't think I'd be able to tighten this bottom one very well because almost nothing else could possibly ever get in here. Dude, that thing looks so cool on there. I so wish I could leave it like that. It's an absolute duster and it fits perfectly. We gotta hear how it's gonna sound like this. It's gonna be an absolute riot. It's gonna be loud. It is a big block. Running very good. It's running quite lean, I think. It's because we just put this header on here that flows super freely, and when you free up the exhaust, you want to richen up the jet a little bit to compensate. Dude, it's turning gold. I think this is stainless. Dude, that's crazy. I think it's stainless. There's a funny smell though. It's probably all my hand oil burning off that because I touched it a bunch. So yeah, it is way too loud like that. Unfortunately, we cannot leave it like this because it's louder than a Harley Davidson probably. So what we're gonna have to do for this guy, obviously this ain't gonna fit here at all. So we're gonna have to chop it probably right about here and put our muffler right in here. Hopefully it'll fit. So it's gonna be right in the frame. I might have to notch the frame a little bit or something. But yeah, it'll probably make more power with this exhaust system because if it leaned out that much, that means that we can add quite a bit more fuel. And when you add more fuel and you have more airflow, you have more power. Because I'm sure this muffler is quite restrictive that came factory. Now, of course, power with a lawnmower isn't that important. But yeah, so I think the next step is to cut it. I probably should take it off for that. Cut it and put on our muffler. I ordered a clamp for this, but it didn't come for some reason. Everything else came, but not the clamp. So that means we could probably cut it right about here. Okay, so I cut it down. Looks pretty good, I guess. And now our muffler fits on very nicely, except still loose. If I could get like a shim or something to put around here just to fill up that gap, that'd be good. And then when I clamp it, with an exhaust clamp, I think will be golden. It'll probably still be really loud though. I think we're just not going to get away from the fact that this is going to be loud. The question is, how loud? All right, so it's been a couple days for me, a couple seconds for you, but that's because I got sick, unfortunately. But anyways, I got the muffler clamped on, and it's very solid. And I actually ran it a little bit, and it runs good. I don't think this is stainless steel because it turned completely blue, and I don't think stainless steel. I think stainless steel tends to stay more gold, but I don't know. Anyways, whatever it is, it looks pretty good. But let's hear this thing, and then we'll mess with the jet. So we'll turn on the fuel. Probably won't even need choke. Uh-oh. That's not good. Turn the key and I got nothing. Oh, that's a problem. The battery came undone. That's why. How did that happen? It didn't come with a battery that worked, so we just put in a little battery. And that battery works perfectly, actually, for this application. It's plenty powerful enough. It just isn't mounted the best. So give me 1 second and I'll fix that. All right. We have the battery fixed now. So it should start now, hopefully. But it's not too bad. I think the placement is perfect. Comes out right there. It does blow right on the tire rod, but oh well. Tear the carburetor down. RLB. Tear it here. Oh wait, what am I doing? I don't need to take all this stuff off. We just need to drop the bowl, which is leaking for some reason. It's leaking from this seal that goes on this nut. Well, there's still a lot of gas in there. Oh well. There's a big mess on the floor. Well, no wonder that gasket wasn't sealing. This is one I made actually, because the other one wasn't sealing either, but over the course of taking it off and putting it back on a lot, it just got ruined, so I'll have to make another one of those, I guess. Anyways, our main jet is right there. Alright, so you can see she's pretty big already, but we're gonna make it bigger. Just a little bit. A little bit. Because you absolutely can overdo it, and once you overdo it with these, you can't go back. You just have to buy a new jet. So we want to avoid that, that's for sure. So basically, I don't have drill bits that are nearly small enough for this. So what we'll be doing is just using torch tip cleaners. And we'll find the one that is the biggest. Okay, so it's this one. Oh dear. So this one fits, the largest one that fits, and it has these serrations on here that you can kind of use to cut away at these things. I don't know how well it's not slipping on over this. Maybe if I just like twist it a lot, it'll go on. All right, we're gonna go with the next size down so we can actually slip it over this thing. All right, so then we'll slip this thing over here and we'll just grind it away while twisting it on these serrations, and that will remove a small amount of material. You can see the brass colored dust that's getting on my finger. So that's how you know you are removing some material. See if it now fits over this one. Not quite. All right, I think that's what we're gonna call it for now. It might not look very much bigger, but small changes are important. If you go too much all at once, you might overshoot it and then you're screwed. So it's okay if you undershoot it, because then you can just take it out and drill it out a little bit more. So we'll see how this works. Let's see if she's even gonna pretend to run good. faster. I might need to tune the low end screw a little bit, because when you richen up the main jet, the low might get a little bit messed up as well, and then you need to adjust it. That was a 6th gear clutch dump and the engine didn't even bog at all. Crazy. Well, I would call that a great success. I just adjusted the idle a little bit I leaned it out a little bit, and I think it runs great. I didn't see any signs of running too rich, like smoking or sputtering, and it doesn't seem to be running too lean either. Doesn't bog at all. Like when you engage the blade, that's usually a bog the engine down, but it doesn't bog at all, really. This engine's got plenty of power and torque, I think. Probably added a little bit of power with that exhaust and stuff. And it sounds pretty good too. Not too obnoxious either. So I'm very pleased. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.